Hello, future angels and my earth angels. Today, I want to make a video about something called the TOUCHSTONE. This is a tool I've been using to evaluate all the financial assets in the world for ages, but I believe this is underutilized right now and is worth exploration. Now, the concept is actually quite simple. Just like the traditional touchstone that can test the quality and the purity of gold, and you can see how this looks like. This looks like this. They scratch the gold over a stone and then put acid on it and test the purity based on the color. I wouldn't be able to use this because I'm colorblind. Jokes is on me. But same as gold can be tested with a touchstone set, you can use gold to test every other financial assets, because this is very important. If you are not sure what to invest in, your default investment actually should always be gold, because gold is a long-term store of value that is independent of governments, independent of time, independent of institutions, and is always available. There's no counterparty risk, and it's not outdated. Unlike most people will tell you, gold is not a outdated asset class, not at all. Probably never will be. Okay, onto the gold. So this is the price of gold in the last 5 years. I know you're in crypto. I know you don't like gold and all that. I understand perfectly. But I just want to keep in mind that gold is the benchmark for every other financial asset out there. Gold is the touchstone for other financial assets. Can you outperform gold? That's the question. Now, forget this for a moment. This is just the chart for the last 5 years for refresh. Now, if you are an American, and 30% of my audience is from the US, so this is relevant to you. The S&P 500, if you are invested now, cherry picking date now, in October 2018, you have not done anything, financially speaking, compared to investing in gold. In fact, most of the time, you actually underperform gold. However, I was cherry picking the date. Therefore, I assume you had an average price of somewhere here. This is your average price of S&P 500 in the last 5 years. If you did invest in S&P 500 on an average over a long period of time, you actually did better than gold. So if you're one of the Warren Buffett disciples and you are traditional investors, you're doing fine right now, at least. So this asset actually passed the test. Now, this is another asset that's super, super important to most people in the world, the real estate, the house you're living in. In Australia, for example, 60% of the household net worth is actually in home equity. Maybe right now 70%, I would assume, because recently pricing has been going up. So most gains in your net worth came from housing value. And now in America, however, if you are investing in housing over a long period of time, actually didn't do that well compared to gold. So what you got is, in terms of gain, is from rent-free situation. When you live in your own house, you don't have to pay rent. Therefore, that's your true gain. So you don't have to pay income tax for the money you would have spent on rental. So that's the double saving. So that means on average, a normal person is better off saving your money in housing than in gold. So in this case, if you have housing in most countries in the world, I reckon you are doing quite okay. But don't think you have become rich just because your house has gone up. If you become a millionaire from your housing, it simply means everything else has gone up in price as well. So it doesn't mean anything. It just means you didn't lose money. That's all that means. But it's not too bad. Better than paper money, right? Better than a bank savings account. So if you have that, you're doing fine. Now, here's an Australian ETF. I'm using this one because I want to take the exchange rate issue out of the equation. So I'm using the oldest Australian ETF traded in the US as a comparison. Compare that to gold. Now you see the problem. If you're an Aussie and your money is in the super fund, and the super fund basically just mimic the ASX, what happens is you actually didn't outperform anything. You didn't outperform real estate. You didn't outperform gold. You're not well off. Yeah, your super fund is dead. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Don't sue me, blah, blah, blah. We're done. Now, back to the topic. You are investing in Australian shares. You should seriously reconsider your strategy, because over the last 5 years, it is proven beyond reasonable doubt that your shares hasn't gone anywhere. because not only hasn't gone anywhere, in between you had a big scare, the COVID scare. During the COVID time, you would be much better off if you were just staying in gold. So keep that in mind. And now, gold versus Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin Cash is too new. History is not long enough. Gold has thousands of years of history. Bitcoin Cash, as a tradable financial product, only been around for less than a year. So I'm going to use BTC first. In BTC case, I know a lot of people heard about a guy called Peter Schiff, and I highly recommend you to listen to the guy, not because he's right. I actually think Peter Schiff is wrong. However, his insight regarding gold is correct. He is probably going to do well with his gold investment. This is my sincere opinion. But he won't do as well as people in Bitcoin. That I'm almost certain by now. Because there's far more people who haven't touched Bitcoin than people who haven't touched gold. And look at this. If you are invested in Bitcoin or in gold in 2017 during the first run up, when everyone in the public started to talk about Bitcoin, you actually didn't do as well as you thought. You could have stayed in gold, you would have been the same as today. So in a way, Bitcoin's become more mature. This is the good thing I can say about this chart, is that Bitcoin is becoming more mature. BTC, the classic Bitcoin, is becoming more mature. It's more and more becoming the real digital gold, which I personally believe is the real asset purpose for BTC to become the true digital gold, global gold reserve currency in the digital age. I absolutely believe that's the case. They can receive anywhere between 10 trillion to $100 trillion worth of net worth in stored net worth in BTC network. I'm pretty sure. In BCH, however, we are actually aiming for a much bigger asset size. With the cash market. The cash market is $100 trillion plus. It's going to get bigger and bigger because the velocity of cash is going to increase. Therefore, the market size for cash is going to be even bigger. And here's the chart in Bitcoin Cash compared to gold. So you can see the price spikes are absolutely unpredictable. It is beyond my ability, even as Earth Angel. I can't predict when the spikes comes. But the happy news I can report to anybody in the Bitcoin Cash camp is we don't need to worry about when they come. Just imagine every time this spike comes, what it does is actually bring in public interest into our camp. That's what it does. Like the most recent one, this 40% spike, what it did was brought in huge amount of new public interest from people who thought Bitcoin Cash is dead. Look at this as a heartbeat of Bitcoin Cash. Okay? Boom, 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 boom. Right now we are low on heartbeat. Maybe blood pressure is a little bit low, but it's going to come back. Trust me, it's going to come back. This is inevitable because we are alive. We are truly alive. It is truly alive. We're not boring. BCH is not boring. Let's compare. BTC is actually borderline boring. Look at that. This is not boring. Not boring is good because a lot of people who have never been to BCH camp before, and I would like to address you and welcome you to our camp. If you buy now, wait for the next spike, you can play your trader game. I'm not going to advise you on your trading signal or whatever, but you can trade this thing. Look at this, how regular this is. So if I'm a trader, if I would be a trader, I'm going to buy now, put a one sell order here, second sell order here, third sell order there. That's simple as that. I mean, how easy is to trade this? Think about this. Well-established trading range. All the channels are perfectly intact. Look at how regular this is. This is very tradable, people. Very tradable. If you are into trading, look at the resistance here. That so clear. I don't need a computer to this. Anyone with a pulse can see the trading ranges. I'm not a trader. I don't advise you to trade because anytime we could get a short squeeze in this kind of setup, and next short squeeze can truly blow us out of this range. Entirely possible. But I'm just saying, even from a trader's perspective, this is a perfect time to buy some. Not trading advice. Don't sue me if you lose money. But I'm just saying, look at this thing. And it passed the gold test with flying color. If you buy low, sell high, based on this chart alone, you're going to make a lot of money. See? So But don't ask me for trading signals because I never, ever, ever give away trading signals, ever. All right? But this is a logical choice. So anybody in the BTC camp, were you able to trade this thing? Let me pull this to 1 year just to be fair. Just to be fair, okay? All right, BTC people. You look at this chart. Is this tradable? Kind of. Not really, because this is the trend. We're coming down. You're approaching death cross. Not happened yet, but I suspect we're going to get a short squeeze and go back up. So now is a pretty good time to buy BTC as well. I'm not buying any because I find this is far better buy. This is far more tradable, far better buy, far more predictable. This looks a lot more predictable to me than this, honestly. What do you think? Comments below, please. Do let me know. I'm very curious about your opinion. Do you think BTC is easier to trade or BCH is easier to trade? Based on this chart alone, look at that. All right? I'm curious about the opinion. If you want to give your own trading signal, up to you. I don't really care. I personally don't trade. I just buy on the dip. That's what I do because my price target is $500,000 in 2025. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. One video at a time. I'm going to get everybody on board. We're going to get there. And today's video may be more targeting towards the traders than anything else. Look at that. Which one would you rather trade? This or that? Yeah, your choice. Now, to my personal development situation, interesting news to report. Currently, I'm diagnosing myself borderline anorexia because I don't have any hunger feeling. This is the biggest problem I have right now. No feeling of hunger. I learned one thing over the last 9 weeks of dieting on 1 meal a day is that hunger is a conditioned signal. If you eat 3 times a day or 5 times a day or 1 time a day, the timing comes based on self-conditioning. And the actual hunger signal doesn't really kick in at all. When the body realizes there's irregular food intake, there's no point in signaling you the hunger feeling because you won't get satisfied. After a while, the body just stops producing those hunger signals. The downside is when you don't feel hungry, you forget to eat, or you don't think about eating, then you can lose weight too rapidly. Those are some of the symptoms. I'm showing currently only 1 of the 4, and or maybe 2 out of 4. Yeah. So the dieting part is the number 1 reason, and a lot of bodybuilders fall into this category. A lot of people who are on Instagram fall into this category as well. So it can get dangerous. Right now, I have relatively low blood pressure since about 5 days, so I'm working on that. What I want to avoid is this situation, the machinist situation. Not sure you have ever watched this movie with Christian Bale. That's Christian Bale. That's also Christian Bale. These 2 pictures are 6 months apart. He made a movie called Machinist. For that movie, he lost huge amount of weight, body weight. And because he needs to look completely psychologically deranged and physically deranged. One of the best performances of his life. I absolutely adore him for this. He is a true angel. He has control over his body like no one else I know. No one else can transform as well as Christian Bale. I look at this. This is him. This is him. That's him. Yeah. This is, I think, it's in American Hustle. This is incredible. So I don't want to end up like that. And I might end up like that if I'm not careful. So I need to be extra careful. I also don't want to look like Dick Cheney. So this is Christian Bale in Dick Cheney shape. I can't get to the Batman shape because for that he did 7 times a week training, staggered training, and dieting like crazy, super high intake of calories, and stuff like that. I'm not an actor. I will never be an actor. All I want is having a healthy body weight versus fat layers. I'm aiming at 12 to 14% body fats. And yeah, like this is not too bad. But to get to that, I probably need about 3 years training. This is about 3 years training for me for my current situation. And we'll see how it goes. I make this video also purposely to show people that I always look at myself from an objective perspective whenever possible, because regardless of investing, personal relationships, personal improvement, anything else in life, you must have objectivity in everything you do. If you don't, very often you would just go to from one extreme to another. And honest self-assessment is unbelievably important when it comes to improvement of your own performance, your own life. If you don't have the ability to self-assess, get your friends to assess you, get experts to assess you, but never forget to periodically self-assess, peer review assessment, because otherwise you will end up in a very unhealthy place in your mind and with your body. All right, this much for today. See you in the next one. Bye.